What's up, y'all?
What's up, dogs?
So y'all know me, and you met Phil before, and this is Bryant. You've seen Bryant in, I don't know if you've seen Bryant in workout videos, but Bryant.
Probably one.
Yeah, you want to do a little intro? Tell them about yourself a little bit?
He's the powerlifter.
So I guess you could say I'm the powerlifter. I'm the fat fuck of the group. I like to eat, and I like to lift heavy shit.
Yeah, we've all been working out together for over 3 years now.
Yeah,
so first time on the podcast. Today, we've got a good topic. We got the 3-man podcast for the first time. We're huddled together. Exile is getting warmer.
It's warm now.
So it's very nice. We got a new heater. But today's topic, we're going to do what training style is the best. You've got bodybuilding.
Powerlift!
Strongman.
Ooh.
It's going to be heated.
So we're going to get right into it. Basically, the theme of it is which style of weightlifting or fitness is the best in terms of just making progress. And a lot of people's goal is to have a nice looking body. So which is the best way? What's going to get you stronger? What's going to get you better? Who wants to go first?
I don't want to just,
Well, let's introduce.
forget about it, though. What do you guys think about the Arnold going on so far?
Ooh,
That's a good,
That's a good, we got everything going on.
We got bodybuilding, powerlifting, strongman.
And it seems like Strongman takes that show over.
I mean,
yeah, without a doubt,
fucking
I would say.
6'3", 420 pounds.
Yeah, Strongman has the Arnold basically under wraps.
It's the best to watch, I'd say.
But
I guess you could say that.
It's also the Olympia is the big bodybuilding show, so
Yeah.
you have that too, which it's a big event. You know, it's a big event when it comes out. But the Arnold Strongman takes the Arnold. Yeah, so a little bit intro into what each means. You want to go first, Phil?
A little back.
Well, yeah, just quick. Strongman.
Yeah, so Strongman, the training style is kind of like, I'd say it's almost in between, like full-blown strength, because you have the full-blown like brute strength, like I don't know, like farmer deadlifts, like we do a lot. Then you have like overhead for reps. You know,
Vlog.
yeah. So it's like kind of in between.
It's unique.
Yeah.
Very unique.
Yeah.
It's not as popular as other two, nearly.
Then you have the carrying events, so it's more
growing,
cardio.
though. It's been growing.
Yeah. A lot
It's pretty cool.
It's like overall strength.
Yeah.
You got to be a strong guy to do that.
You gotta be fat though. Like,
Well,
there isn't anyone in strongman, bro, that isn't.
There is.
Who? I mean,
Sorry.
you look at
they're mostly
Larry
all
coming
fat.
in.
Yeah, but
Larry Wheels. You got a
that
six
doesn't
pack.
count, bro. That doesn't count.
He competes though. He competed.
But that's bullshit.
Then look
That
at
doesn't count, bro.
and then look at the Polish dude, Putinowski.
Okay, I mean,
He's got a six pack. He's 340.
okay, yeah, I mean, but still.
So you got to have some fat on you, but you can be.
But
in
yeah,
good
then
shape.
there's also like fat fucks.
We
who
consider-
are the champions though? Those are the.
Yeah, that's true. But Thor's a good
No,
shape.
well-
Thor's got a good
Well,
shape.
now
Yeah,
he has
Thor's
a
shape.
good
Well, the
nutrition coach.
Polish guy, he was like, I think he has the most titles.
Okay.
Does he?
Yeah.
So you'd say that you have to be big. You got to have some fat on you, but you can have a good taper to yourself.
You can have
Yeah.
a good physique.
Yeah.
I think it comes down to like physiques.
Yeah.
Because
Physique's overall health, but
I
strength
mean
is a factor.
your genetics for your physique.
That's true.
Okay.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Um,
Because like you see like the new Polish guy, he's got a pretty. I think he has like a six pack kind of.
Yeah.
Did you see that new young kid, the 23-year-old?
Yeah, he's
I
the
did see
Polish
him,
dude.
Yeah.
All right. So bodybuilding. I say bodybuilding is the most popular by far. Because bodybuilding, it's the most popular, but
I guess, yeah.
in terms of everybody can do it, but not good. You know, because bodybuilding really encompasses most forms of fitness, like that 40-year-old lady who just goes in the gym and lifts for 20 minutes.
Yo, shout
If
out
she had to
NT.
fall into one of these three categories, she would be a bodybuilder because she's working on her body. But bodybuilding basically, if you do it right, your goal is to build muscle with as least body fat as possible when it comes time for the show. So it's a lot of nutrition, mostly nutrition, and periodized programs that you put a lot into it. And I would say that in terms of discipline, it's the toughest of the three. I would say that coming out the gate. But
So, I mean, I think powerlifting is the most basic one out of all of them. Just because you start off learning your 3 basic compounds, bench, squat, and deadlift. And that's almost all we do. You never see any of us fucking overhead pressing for like max. I mean, we could, but no one does that.
Some do.
I mean, in competition, they don't. It's mostly just bench,
that's
squat,
true, that's
deadlift. But basically, again, with the strongman guys, most of us are pretty big, because if we want to bench about 1,000 pounds, like the White Vanilla or whatever the hell his name was this morning, bro, 1,030 pounds or something like that. I could be wrong, but went up like icing on cake.
Yeah, a lot of them are big fellas.
They're big boys, but like not even just the guys. Today I watched the women powerlifters too on the bench. The bench off or whatever it was, and these women, they pack a punch too. They're these chicks, bro, 134 benching 300 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah. Bro, I weigh 260 and I can barely press like over 330 over my chest.
It's crazy. But and obviously powerlifting, a lot of the best powerlifters know how to use the different forms of the 3 compounds, so like deficits.
Yes.
You know, all that
so it's not only, like I said, your basic compounds. We do a lot of other variations, a lot of accessory work
to work on the 3
exactly. And most importantly, I think for all of us as well, I think recovery work is the most important thing for us, especially since we are moving so much weight. If you don't take time to actually recover and take a rest, that's just gonna mess you up for any type of situation. Like if you just want to go and work out, just like a regular training block, you could potentially get injured just from not training correctly or not having that recovery time.
So before we start, I will say we all basically hybrid train. So we train with all 3, especially out of Exile. We have all the equipment we need to do all 3 events, and it's awesome. I trained bodybuilding for about 2.5 years beforehand, and you can tell the intensity and the effectiveness of your workout block basically on how your nervous system responds to it. Like, we've been fried lately just because this has been such a good block. It's been a week. So for me, I was able to work out 11 or 12 times a week on just bodybuilding. I couldn't do that now. So
hell no.
Because bodybuilding is just based on hypertrophy, really. So I will say that to start. But Phil, you're up first on Strongman. Give me a few benefits and then give me a couple downsides.
I guess
to Strongman.
Let's start off with the biggest benefit, which is it encompasses everything.
Okay.
You know? Like I said before, all the you have the events that has.
You'll reap the benefits of the other 2.
Yeah. You get all the high rep work. You're doing like, let's say you have a competition and you have max reps on log or something like that. So you're gonna be training like out of the rack, just like strict. You're doing sets of 8, 10.
Now, if you're really gonna be good at it though, you can't keep a lean physique.
Yeah, you really can't.
Bodybuilder.
Well, not for at least the first part. You know what I mean? Like, I remember we used to train strongman all the time, and that's when I was my biggest, my heaviest. Of course, if you want to push heavier weight, you're gonna have to be a little heavier. That's how things work. At my heaviest, bro, it was the best time of my life. Like, I don't want to say that because now my numbers have gone. They have to pass those 2 years.
But they'd have to go down first.
But exactly, like I don't want to just jump off of him, but we all work out together. I've gone through each stage of bodybuilding, strongman, and powerlifting. Powerlifting is just the one that I'm able to stick with. I think strongman and powerlifting are very similar, just because we do have almost the similar kind of movements. Yeah. Besides other stuff like stones and
the movements are the same.
Yeah.
The equipment of which you do those movements with varies.
I say where it lacks though is what you said before. The powerlifting is really basic, so every meet you sign up to is going to be you're going to start with a squat, bench, then deadlift. With strongman, it can be 2 pressing events totally different.
I would make the argument strongman is the most fun out of the 3.
Yeah, it's the most fun.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think strongman.
But you'll never surpass you'll never have the same event twice, which is good and bad.
That's good. It keeps it interesting.
That is very true.
Yeah. Other benefits of doing it.
Well, you get strong. You get strong quick, because
I would say functional strength.
Yeah, because a lot of the lifts are kind of partial. So a lot of deadlifts are pretty much partial, just below the knees. So you get strong really, really quick. Yeah, and you can pull really heavy weight.
I would honestly make the argument strongman in terms of the 3. The movement, the definition of fitness. I gotta pop up. I'm gonna exit out real quick.
Your Norton protection expired, bro.
It's been expired for
no more porn for
months.
you.
The definition of fitness as it goes is being able to perform your daily tasks with ease. So fitness actually doesn't really, the definition doesn't encompass any type of format, but strongman, picking up a stone or carrying something heavy. You know, it's a lot more plausible than doing a lat pull down or doing a bench press. You know, these are things you do in your day to day. So I would say that in terms of that, the biggest downside though, give me a big downside, besides the fact that you need to spend hundreds to get the equipment.
Oh yeah. Well, you can also build it.
Or you can build it like
if you have
that too,
experience. The biggest downside is when you train like real deal for a competition, you feel like shit. Your body is like you got run over by a truck.
I mean, I think overall that could be
Said for
everyone.
each.
Yeah, because it all depends also on the person and how or the intensity you put into your block. Because I know a lot of people, they don't do, I guess, progressive overloads like a bunch of us would do. They just go straight into maybe like 80s into maxes, which is kind of ridiculous. But if it works for them, then it
works.
I guess it works. Yeah, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
The only reason I say that though is because a lot of the lifts, like take like stone for example, you'll tear up your forearms.
That is very true. Yeah.
Log, like we were doing log a few years ago.
My chest was so cut up.
You use more
Your
muscles.
chest, your like your bones. If you do yoke, you'll feel it in your bones. Not even just your muscles. Like you'll feel it in your freaking like your spine.
I think honestly that's why I'm so sore. Those farmers like really tore up my back and my traps.
Yeah.
It's like kind of playing like a game of football, like a light game of football. That's what it feels like.
So you get beat up doing strongman more than anything, but that overall, that strength that you get and those movements you get good at, they're just so useful day to day. And you have to put on some extra fat to do it right, but you can have a good shape.
Yeah. If you're gonna be serious about it.
Yeah. We'll jump into bodybuilding. I would say bodybuilding. I'll start with the biggest downsides to it because obviously I have segued out of bodybuilding, so I'm fresh on the downsides. First of all, your strength fluctuates. You know, and bodybuilders do it wrong. They have this whole dirty bulk thing where they get super fat just to get super skinny, and it's a never-ending cycle. It never ends.
That is true, yeah.
So your strength bounces around. How can you get stronger if in your off-season you can deadlift 495 and then you drop to 395 and then you have to work back up to 495, then back down? When does it ever actually go up? So their strength jumps all over the place, and bodybuilders are so serious about that off-season that they're only bodybuilders for 2 months of the year. The other months of the year, they're just guys. They look like, you ever see like Buendia in off season? It looks like another guy. Like, and the biggest downside is just the feeling of being flat. Like I haven't carb depleted like seriously in a long time, and I'm very happy about that.
Honestly, it looks better though.
Yeah, and you're full the year round, and I don't know. There are a lot of downsides. You have to be really, but that's why I say it takes the most discipline. You have to be really dedicated, a tough person. Girls are doing it too, better than ever. To be a bodybuilder, you have to have a lot of discipline, and you have to care about bodybuilding more than anything. It has to be it. You listen to guys like Jay Cutler talking about bodybuilding. That's it. There's nothing else for him. The upsides, it's the joint safest. A lot of people do these heavy lifts wrong, and they end up with long-term damage, like Ronnie Coleman, and fast forward 30 years, Larry Wheels, and these guys. They're worse for wear because of unprepped powerlifting and a lot of steroids. Which the steroid debate in bodybuilding, I guess you could say that for each. If you're going to be good at it,
yeah. I mean, I think that's something we should segue towards the end.
Yeah,
just because that's a big thing.
But yeah, it's the safest on the joints because bodybuilders don't lift heavy. The best ones are strong, but a lot of the best bodybuilders make up about a fraction of 1% of the bodybuilders in the world, and the best ones don't lift heavy. And if you do it with the lean bulk, you look good year round. You do. You can maintain a good physique where when it comes time to it, you can cut down a tiny bit, but the rest of the year you have a good shape to you. And if you do it with the right modalities, changing it can be fun, but it does get repetitive. It does. But that's what I would say is that overall, you can keep a good shape. A lot of people do it wrong, but it is the safest out of the three. And it takes the most discipline to do it right.
Yeah, that's very true.
Power.
I guess going into powerlifting, I'll start off with some negatives. What are the major things? Yeah, a lot of injuries, just being not being careful. Anytime you're pressing something that's super heavy, squatting or deadlifting, taking a big toll on your joints and ligaments and stuff like that. And over the years, it's just gonna catch up to you. and you're just gonna have like ripped ligaments everywhere. You know, maybe you could tear elbow, tear shoulders, stuff like that. Biceps on deadlifts. Another downside is, I guess it's not really a downside, but you have to eat a lot, which goes towards I guess most of ours, all three of ours, but more for strongman too. We have to, all our bodies are machines essentially, but powerlifting and strongman, we have to eat the most to be able to. Input is output, essentially.
Well, the right input.
Stuff like that. Yeah. Correct. And another thing I think is, not that we get lethargic, but we are pretty slow because we're only doing certain movements, and those certain movements only go into those like lifts. You know what I mean? So we do have, I guess, good movements in our hips, elbows, and knees and stuff like that. But after the years, again, going back to those wears and tears, we're just gonna be stiff. Even if you see days where we're off on rest days, we're stiff as a rock.
Yeah.
Like we have to turn around like this, just like it's. I mean, a lot of I guess wear and tear goes into it.
Definitely on the joints.
Yeah.
And I think that a big part of that is there are not so much for the bench or the deadlift, but the squat. Because the deadlift is dangerous. The squat, there's like a powerlifting type of squat where just like fights a parallel.
There's many, yeah. So there's many forms of squat, especially in powerlifting. I see a lot of these newer, I guess IPF guys, these skinnier dudes. They're super narrow, which I mean, I guess you're smaller, so you're able to fit your hips into that area.
Yeah, that's a good point.
But bigger guys like me, or even like up there, they do like super wide, like sumo squat kind of.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I've done it a couple times. It's a lot of stress on the groin, the abductors, the hips, and stuff like that, and especially the knees, because it's not a natural movement. Especially if you're wrapping up, your knees are coming out this way with a bunch of weight just sitting on your back. So that is a big workout or a big lift.
I'll give you some benefits. That's a lot.
So
well, it's like,
I guess
I said you always know what you're gonna lift.
Yeah, so that's one of the big things.
And that can work as an upside or a downside.
I mean, I think it's more of an upside because we know what to expect.
That's true. You can train for it.
We can train for it all year round. I think that's something that I like too. Yeah. We can compete whenever we want. Honestly, if there's a meet, we can just hit it.
That's a good point.
I think that we have the best of both worlds, to be honest. In physique-wise, we could be super big, like super bulky, or we could be pretty ripped. Like going back to Larry Wheels, I don't like going back to him because
he's the example. He's the only one.
Yeah, I mean, not really, but he's the one jumping in between all three.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
that's true.
Within a year.
Yeah, within the year. But he looks good. You know what I mean? There's a bunch of powerlifters that do look good, and others that are just fat. But you know,
like PH deadlift.
Yeah, bro.
Looks great.
Or going back to we were talking about Jack the Deadlift Ripper.
Yeah.
Or
a lot of them do look good.
Yeah, they look pretty damn good, man.
I had something I wanted to point out.
I guess we do have to watch what we eat, but it's more of like just calorie intake. So we get to eat pretty good throughout the year, stuff like that. Going back to competitions, we know what to do. Same thing.
Now, one point I would like to make about powerlifting, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, bodybuilding, you really just, if you prep for over more than like 2 shows a year, then you kind of screw yourself in terms of your growth. And strongman, if you max out on all the events, like if you max out on each event more than twice a year because you got to train for each, that's a little bit excessive. Usually the strongman guys go into like 1 or 2 shows a year because you have to train for so many different events.
The top guys,
Yeah. But powerlifters max out.
We can max out
month.
Exactly.
Once every month, once every 2 months.
A really rigid training.
So
block,
again, it also depends on the person, and depending what major competition you want to get into. I know a lot of cats that they want to do like maybe USAPL to get in or whatever for Worlds, and they have to do 3 meets within like 4 months. So that's like 2 meets in 1 month and then 2 other meets right after.
That's a lot.
And they have to score pretty high overall and in the Wilks and stuff like that just to be able to make it to like that major competition.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Now, how much is a powerlifting competition?
To get in?
Yeah.
It depends on which I guess which.
I feel like USA PL.
I think it's usually they're like around 135 to just sign up, and then it's fees. Like fees to actually pay, get in.
Initiation fee,
Also, if you're like drug tests and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Everything goes into it
300.
too. About.
Yeah, it's
so
the same with the most bodybuilding shows.
I was thinking about doing a meet in May, RPS. So it's really light stuff. Younger kids and stuff like that. It was 130 to sign up and like 25 for like the fees and stuff like that. So I'm spending 150 for a meet.
It's not bad.
I mean, it's not bad, but you also got to think about dieting, training, transport, because usually they're not that close.
That's true, especially powerlifting.
Exactly,
especially strongman.
The closest one that I saw is like 3 hours deep into Jersey. So that's pretty far.
Yeah, it's about the same price as I was gonna say. The strongman meets, they go from like $50 to $200.
It all depends, on I guess the federation too.
The bad side is
the bigger the
they're
federation.
far. They're like in Pennsylvania, upstate,
And the biggest
New Jersey.
downside about strongman is that you don't have age classes. You don't
And you
have
have
weight classes.
And the weight.
That's
I was
also
gonna say
like powerlifting too.
Yeah.
powerlifting. The weight classes, they're more they're not as strict. I mean, they're more strict, but
They don't have that as many jumps.
yeah,
They have a wide variety.
Very decisive in powerlifting.
So-
Because you'll see like guys will say like world record 174 kg at this. It's so specific, you know. It kind of annoys me a little bit when I see
It really
that.
comes down to like
It'll be like
the
world
digits,
record
man.
162 kg weight class, sleeves, straps, belt.
Yeah, so
Like,
that's another thing, bro.
It's like no one else has ever attempted that. Of course, you're the world record.
That's another thing I forgot to mention. Like, there's modern, which is basically with or like wraps and all that.
Yeah,
And then there's raw.
yeah.
That's like just wraps and or sleeves and belt. No straps, no bench shirt.
Just crazy.
No, and just I guess a squat suit.
Yeah, that's insane. You know, you hope that they would like come together.
Yeah, I mean, that you could, but that's a different, I guess.
Well, the raw guys are stronger.
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%. I mean,
it's crazy. But
like if you're equipped, obviously you'll probably be able to push more, but you're equipped. So it's really what are you actually pushing? Like how much kgs are you adding to your actual weight?
that's a fact. And the bars too. Like we deadlift on a stiff bar out here, and when we go into the gym, it's obviously a little bit easier deadlift on a good deadlift bar. But that's one I consider that a modality. I think that training on a stiff bar is a good way to get stronger.
Well,
And then-
also that could be a downside too, because if you're training on a stiff bar, you might not be able to.
to pull the same one. Oh, no.
Not even that. You're not going to be
You're just
used
not
to the
used
whip.
to it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So especially like deadlift bars,
It'll
like
shake a lot.
the elephant bar. A lot of
Yeah.
people they say I've never trained on an elephant bar,
It's a
so I
big whip,
can't
though.
I can't say like 100% sure. But a lot of people say that not only the whip is so high, but that it pulls you forward instead of like you pulling back.
So Brian Shaw fell
Yeah,
in his.
that was crazy though. That was a good attempt of him.
That could be why he fell forward.
Yeah,
But that's a good point. I've never trained on a whip bar, and I plan to for the first time soon.
hopefully,
yeah.
yeah. We're trying to get something soon.
So basically, powerlifting, you can build a good physique with it, and you can have a good shape. It's
strong
a
as
little
hell.
bit. You be really strong. A little bit detrimental to the joints, though.
Just take some glucosamine or like your vitamins. You'll be good. Your omegas.
But powerlifting is definitely a good one. I think that we'd all agree that the best way to train is the way that we train now.
Yeah,
I'd say about that.
I say if you weren't going to be serious, like if you weren't going to powerlift like hardcore, just go to like maybe one meet a year or something like that, just for fun. Yeah, I'd say just do hybrid. But if you're going to be hardcore, obviously train your sport.
Now you'd say it's possible to be strong in each doing a hybrid, or
I think, in my opinion, doing a hybrid is your best bet, to be honest. Not your best bet, but it's a very good choice. Just thinking about Steffi Cohen, she is a strong ass mother effer. And her like actual program or her brand is Hybrid Performance. She does powerlifting movements, but also, like I said, these accessory works. She does, I don't want to say CrossFit workouts sometimes, but it's a lot of movements, a lot of like getting the heart elevated, a lot of running back and forth, sled stuff, So these hybrid things have been popping up, and they're getting pretty popular. And I think, in my opinion, it works a little better just because as you can see by some strongmen, the bigger you are, obviously, the slower you are and less endurance you have. So I would assume, or the way that I'm thinking is, if you are doing these powerlifting movements, you will get strong and I guess a little slower. But if you incorporate these hybrid workouts like sled pushes, sled pulls, even
multi-jump,
exactly. So you'll build up endurance that way, and you're building up strength because you're working the muscles in the same way, just different movements.
Yeah, really, the way that we're training now, we did heavy deads first, and then we jumped in. That's powerlifting, heavy deadlifts. Then we jumped into T-bar rows. That's bodybuilding as you can get. And now we have the farmer carries in here. That's strongman, and then pull-ups to finish. That's a functional movement.
Yep.
We do the bag work in here, just to stay athletic. Your goal in fitness is to be fit. Of course, a strongman, you want to be the strongest man. In powerlifting, you want to lift the heaviest weight. Bodybuilding, you want to look the best. At the end of the day, if you're not in good shape because you're too depleted or you're in pain, then you're not really living that fitness life.
Yeah,
so the way that we're doing it, we're fried after each day, but it's not because we're in writhing in pain. It's because we're working really hard. And maybe that's because we have this gym, and that allows us to do that.
Yeah, I think... Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, go.
That's also another thing. I think we're lucky enough to be able to have all this stuff. Even though we could be getting a lot more things, which will happen in the future, obviously. But the way we have our things set up right now...
No, they can't see
they can't see the rings. But the way we have things set up right now, I think we have a good thing going,
Yeah, I can't wait for the summer.
We're ripping muscle fibers apart left and right like nothing. Yeah, man. And it's just every single day you wake up wanting to kill yourself, but you're excited to go work out.
Yeah.
It's stuff like that. It just keeps you going.
I would definitely advise the hybridization of a split if it's possible. And I want to emphasize what I said before, and we'll do a few minutes on steroids after. But if you don't feel like you're fried after that workout, your CNS is still firing, and you're still good, you're like, I could do this again. I was working out so much, I should have known I'm not working out hard enough. If you're really working out hard enough, you shouldn't be able to do it twice a day, every single day, like I was doing it. Instead of 3 days, 4 days. Are you really working hard enough if you can go to the gym 3 times in one day? Just ask yourself that question. So that was me just not taking my own advice. I didn't know about it then. So the way we train now, I couldn't go work out again. I just couldn't do it. So that's a good thing to do. I think a lot of bodybuilders fall prey to that. It's just doing these, and a lot of the guys on juice will segue into juice like this. You go in the gym, you do a 45-minute workout with a few movements, and then you go, and because you're on steroids, you don't need to do much else, but you're fine, and you can do it day after day. Are you really working hard enough? And that's not to say there aren't bodybuilders who don't work hard. There are plenty of bodybuilders who do insane things. See Chris Bumstead in the gym deadlifting 5 plates like it's nothing. He inclined 3x10 like it wasn't even there today. So
he's young too, bro.
Yeah, he's
crazy.
strong. So
he's so young.
But let's just do a few minutes on steroids and we'll wrap it up. Because steroids exist in each of them. There's no federation at which you'll get to the highest level if you don't take steroids in 2019. It's not going to happen.
That's something that has...
You got it, and you got to be ready to take it. If you're planning on doing it, you come in and you're like, I want to be the strongest man in the world. Then you better be willing to be the most juice guy in the world too, because these guys from the start, that's it. There's nothing else.
Yeah, well, why do you think that the strongmen with 6-packs have 6-packs?
That's also
a good point.
I mean, that's something that you can think about too. But you know, if you actually break it down, if you want to pretend like these things don't exist, you could still have that physique. I guess at the end, because you're doing a lot of core movements. You're using a lot of your core, especially on these yokes, stones. These farmers, the stones. It's crazy, but. Again, if you like Ryan said, if you want to be the best, you gotta be willing to do whatever it takes, man. Bodybuilding. I mean, there's no secret. A lot of people, mostly everybody,
bodybuilders were resistant to steroids.
Exactly. I know powerlifters. A lot of them just test and stuff like that. And I mean, you know more than I do, but I think. 100%, I think all strongmen, are maxed up.
Even in the low level meets.
Yeah, and obviously.
Yeah. I mean, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off again.
Right.
But low level, I think it's even more. To be honest, now, just because everybody wants to go up to that level, that they're just going onto crazy amounts of things, which is absolutely absurd. Just because, one, some guys are very young. They shouldn't be, starting at that level, or I guess taking it that young.
Mm-hmm.
Two, do you really think like you taking this or whatever is gonna push you over the top? Like, I guess, but do you really have to go in, I guess, novice first?
Yeah.
Like, you actually got to train, maybe do a meet or two.
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I was going to say.
Exactly, yeah.
One of the biggest problems that you've seen that we attack with this page is the young guys who jump on that are like really young. They don't have experience yet, and then they're just jumping on. So I don't think strongman's a factor in this, but I would ask you two, what is it more that makes the young guys jump? Is it the look of bodybuilding, or is it the power of powerlifting? Because strongman isn't popular enough that young guys like our age are thinking, let me jump on so I can do stones. They're saying, let me jump on so I can deadlift 700. Let me jump on so I can be shredded year round. What do you think is a bigger factor for the young guys?
I think the biggest factor is bodybuilding, just because I
of
know
the
a
sheer
lot
numbers.
of younger. I know a lot of younger guys that are into powerlifting, but I think that comes with an acquired taste, to be honest, and it comes with longer time actually training. Because everyone starts off, I said everyone starts off doing basic compounds like powerlifting, but everyone starts off thinking, oh, I want to get shredded, or I want to get huge.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Everyone starts off, I guess, as a bodybuilder in that mindset.
Because it's not the same anymore. Years ago, people used to start off with the compounds. It used to be bench, squat, deadlift. Now people are starting off with dumbbell curls and all these weird movements. So that's a very big change. That's a bigger thing that to touch on a different day. We did the what happened to hardcore gyms, and it was really what happened to hardcore training. That feeds off of that. So, and you would say the same bodybuilding, they jump on because of bodybuilding?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And the sheer numbers too. It's more bodybuilders than powerlifters.
It's a whole lot of bodybuilders.
That is very true, yeah.
But strongman doesn't have that because it's more of a gateway.
Yeah.
Like either you're going to be a powerlifter first.
Powerlifter
then,
first.
that's-
Very rare do you see a strongman right out the gate.
Yeah, I don't see that.
Yeah.
Unless it's one of us. Like,
I think you were strongman out the gate.
No.
Now you powerlifter first?
Yeah.
Or bodybuilder first?
I guess bodybuild.
And you were
Olympic
powerlifter
lifting.
first, right?
yeah, I was powerlifting first, and then I was like, I want to be fat, so let's do this bodybuilding thing.
Yeah.
It works. I mean, it's pretty good, but I just don't like having to break up every single body part once a week. I think it's more beneficial to target two body parts that I guess have the same kind of movement, so you're working it all at once.
Because you don't really need to work triceps or biceps. Or
Exactly. I mean, I really should, just because I don't train arms like that.
It helps with muscularity development,
Yeah.
the shape of the muscle looking vascular and
Yeah,
good.
that's very
But
true.
you can deadlift and row heavy and you'll build biceps. It took me a long time to learn that. I've learned it now, but I guess that's what matters, right? And that's why we're here to tell you guys.
Yeah.
Best training style, mix it up, put it together, have fun with it. Strongman's the most fun. That's why this summer you'll see we'll do a summit introduction video. We're gonna do something crazy this summer out of exile, and it's gonna be a lot of fun for you guys and a lot of fun for us too.
It's hot.
So we're gonna have a lot of fun with it. But find what I'm starting to shiver now because it's getting colder as the night goes on. Find what you have fun with, but take the downsides that we put out for each of these and mix it together. We need to go sleep like 30 hours before our next session, but
Oh, Max is coming
it.
soon.
woo! It's
Yeah.
game time, baby!
Oh, yeah.
Woo! Summit time, boy! Say bye to the people.
Fuck you.
Oh man, good work, boys.
Summit time.
Nice. That was